be lower, but it's come off quite a bit from the highs already over the last 4 or 5 days. Market opening a third of a percent lower, 24,768. The Nifty Bank is down about 0.16. Mid-cap index absolutely flat, but there's some green, 30-40 points, but essentially flat. The small-cap index will come up on your screen as well, and gives you a quick sense of how we are starting this morning. 24,750 on the Nifty, 55,900 on the Nifty Bank. So this is a very, very muted Friday morning start. But this is just the start. The heat map gives you a sense of how many are up and down on the Nifty 50 at least. And then we'll take it from there in terms of individual names which are making and moving around. So I think it should be kind of sort of no real, it's more down than up. But in a small way, essentially, right? I mean, Sun is on the other one end of the spectrum. Lever is on the other end, as Mangalam just told us 3 or 4 minutes back. So that's the overall picture. 50 points lower on the Nifty. Surabhi.
I'm only going to look at positive things. It's a Friday, Prashant. Look at Chalet Hotels. Forget the Nifty stocks for a second. Look at Chalet. 18% up. What a star, what a performer. The company's top line and revenue, it's grown by 150%. In the last quarter gone by, and we'll get perhaps Mangalam back in to explain more to us. Maybe we should just put Chalet on the radar if we can. We'll get to, look at that star stock. So even in a tough environment, companies are managing to sort of get investors' attention. Big one over there. In fact, consumption overall is doing pretty good today. HUL is up, Nestle is up. HUL is up 3%. Nestle is up about 1%. Tata Consumer, Eternal, Asian Paints, Trent, even ITC for that matter. There's a little bit of green in all of these stocks, between 0.25% to about 1%. And of course, Lever is taking the cake with a 3% up move. Consumption is the one area which is definitely showing up green. Reliance is very flat. So let's see, if Reliance starts moving higher next couple of hours, it'll be good for the bulls. But on the downside, Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy, Cipla, Pharma seems to have an overall overhang. I mean, apart from the earnings, etc. I think this overhang on US tariffs is very clearly showing up. And pharma stocks had a very good last 4-5 weeks. So some of that is coming under pressure, profit-taking. M&M also, profit-taking 1% lower over there. L&T, some of the other big stocks on the way down. Bajaj Finance down about 0.5%. L&T down 0.5%. There's Wipro and Infosys, some of the tech names also on the lower side. But mid-caps are brighter. Mid-cap index showing some green, Nigel.
Well, that's right. Chalet, you mentioned. Chambal Fertilizers, the other one. That's up close to around 6.5%. Dancing away, so big up move out there. And HUL, for the last few years, everyone's been saying the stock didn't give any returns. In this month, it's given 10% returns. You had the change at the helm. You had the numbers that came out. And there's optimism that consumption will pick up from here on. Just take a look at that stock, 4.5% higher, and that's the big heavyweight. That's the top gainer on the Nifty this morning. What else is doing well? City Union Bank is up close to 2%, moving on rather large volumes. So keep an eye out on that one. On the flip side, Niva Bopa, we just spoke to the management. That's under some pressure. Wellspun Living, that's down close to 1%, falling on large volumes. So just highlighting that. And Sun Pharma, actually, yesterday the stock ended lower with a cut of close to around 2%. And today, in fact, it's down another 3.5%. So in a couple of trading sessions, the stock has lost close to around 5%. And that's a large name that we're talking about. Other big winners in the broader markets, UFO Movies, that's moving higher. In fact, volumes are at around 2.5 lakh just in the first couple of minutes. So big move out there. And Team Lease as well. We'll have the management later on who'll be joining in. One more stock I wanted to highlight is NMDC. And I think we should get the stock up. And, we should get some details out. Sources indicate to us here at CNBC-TV18 that they've gone ahead and they've increased prices by around 400 rupees. Keep in mind, we're in the midst of a monsoon and they've gone ahead and increased pricing, which is encouraging because they had cut prices for 2 consecutive months. That's in June as well as at the start of July. And the total quantum they had cut it was 650 to around 740 rupees or thereabouts. So because of the price increase of around 40 rupees, that's why, in fact, we're seeing the stock outperforming other metal stocks. It's up more than 2%. And keep in mind, it's a monsoon quarter, but global factors are supporting. So that's one factor. The second factor is, I just had to check that the OMC auctions, there was a price increase as well. So NMDC used the opportunity and said, let us as well push through a price increase. Explains why that one is up 2%.
Absolutely. And, just take a look at the index again. So it's that 45, 50 odd point cut. So not really running away in either direction. It's a very, very slow Friday morning start that we've got happening right now. By the way, the top, I'm not sure if this top volume-led losers. Reliance Infra is down about 4%. It's coming up with large volumes at this point in time. What else? Sun, of course, we've been highlighting. Sun is down about 4% as well. 3.5%, about 4%. There is Star Health, which is coming up with volumes. Aurobindo, actually, it's pharma, right? If you had to pick up one kind of trend, it is pharma, and maybe the Nifty Pharma Index will show you it should be down at least 1%. So what have we heard in terms of 1.5% lower on the Nifty Pharma Index? Sun, Aurobindo, Dr. Reddy's, Lupin, all these Cipla, they're all down varying degrees. We heard from Commerce Secretary Lutnick earlier today, essentially saying that President Trump is going to come up with those pharma tariffs in the next few weeks. He's going to finalize and declare them. So that's the overhang here. It's been an overhang for a while. With regards to a country like Switzerland, pharma companies based out of Switzerland, if you look at the Swiss index, pharma companies dominate. He sent letters to 17 companies, but that's different. That's not. But it kind of tells you where this is. Perhaps this is going, asking them to lower drug prices when they supply to social security programs like Medicaid, etc. But that's for innovator companies. Here in India, we are talking about generic companies which sell at a much lower cost into the US market, where President Trump is perhaps looking at some tariffs in the coming days and weeks as well. So
Prashant, just wanted to add to that because I was going through a lot of notes on Sun Pharma. So this is not a company-specific thing. If anything, most notes are very optimistic. Plenty of overweight and buy calls on the stock.
Yeah.
But it's just that the extent of their exposure to the US perhaps makes them one of the most vulnerable stocks, in the Indian pharma space. So that's coming off very sharply. Also, the pharma index has been among the best performers in the last several weeks. So it's just quick profit taking and gearing up for what happens.
The thing is, actually, if you remember the conversation with Lupin, Cipla, I remember they gave us numbers, right? The cost of producing a same drug. Forget drug. I mean, I'm talking about a capsule or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I remember Lupin telling us it's about 8 times in the US as compared to India.
Yeah.
So the real impact may be very, very little, even if there is a 10% tariff which is imposed on goods exported, because the
you still have
difference
to import.
is so large.
Yeah.
But it's not a good feeling, right? I mean, it just puts uncertainty in the air in terms of what really can happen. And that's essentially what's playing up as far as these stocks are concerned. We have